Geometry, Chapter 1, Lesson 2, we're going to look at drawings, nets, and other types of models. And in this lesson, what we're going to look at are 4 types of drawings that you're going to run across this year. And we're not going to really spend a lot of time actually doing the drawings. We will do some in class, and just so you get the idea of kind of what it takes to draw those. But really, the most important part of this lesson is that you know the different characteristics of each of these drawings, and you know, if you were to look at a picture of it, you could say, oh, well, that's an isometric drawing, or oh, that's an orthographic drawing, or that's a foundation drawing, or whatever. So you could look and know the difference between them. Not that you can be perfectly that you could perfectly draw each one. Okay, so it's really important. Know the characteristics, know the differences. That's what we want you to get out of this lesson. Okay, so let's look at these in each one separately, and we'll look at isometric first. Now, all of these drawings are trying to do one thing, and it's represented in this first sentence up here in your book. What we're trying to do is to take three-dimensional objects, those are objects in real life, and draw them on a piece of paper, which is only two-dimensional. You can only draw a length and a width. There's no depth to it on a piece of paper. And those of you who are good at art can do that pretty well. You're doing perspective drawings. You're doing a way of representing those three-dimensional objects on a two-dimensional surface. Those of us who struggle a little bit more, we don't do as well, but we're all trying to make a three-dimensional object, put it on a piece of paper. So if we were to take this Kleenex box, it has 3 dimensions, a length, a depth, and a height. How do I get those 3 dimensions when I can only draw 2 of them? And all of these drawings are a way of doing that. Okay, so again, the first one's an isometric drawing, and again, we don't want to copy this down, we just want to pick out the key points. So the isometric drawing is on isometric dot paper. It says right there, we have to have it on dot paper. It shows 3 sides of a figure from a corner view. And then this is an example one. So really, all I need to write down are those key points to what makes an isometric drawing. Okay. Number 1 is we have to have isometric dot paper. So you're going to need to know what that is, what it looks like. It shows 3 sides of the figure as you look at it. And how does it show the 3 sides? It shows it by using a corner view. So here's an example of an isometric drawing. Okay, notice the dots on the paper as you look at those, and maybe you can't see them very well in the video, but if you Google the isometric dot paper and go up online, you can see it. These dots go at an angle. Okay, you can draw a line like this. You can see right down here as the angle goes like here, and then you draw them here at an angle. Notice none of them go across like this. There are no straight lines on an isometric drawing. Okay, that's a secret thing you're not going to see in your notes. It should be in your notes, but there's no horizontal lines in an isometric drawing. So let me say that again. Make sure you get it. There are no horizontal lines in an isometric drawing. Everything comes down at an angle and goes back at an angle. You will have vertical lines, but no horizontal lines. So one of the key things that you want to get out of that is no horizontal lines. Okay, so this would be an example of an isometric drawing. And so again, we can see 3 sides. We can see this side, and the top. We're looking at it from the corner view. Okay, and that's what an isometric drawing looks like. It's on isometric dot paper. Okay, let's take a look at the next type of drawing. The next type of drawing is what we call an orthographic drawing. Now, when I was in high school, we had a class that was called mechanical drawing. It's kind of like an architectural drawing, and these are the types of drawings we did, and I really enjoyed them because they all fit together very nicely, and it was very organized, which, you know, that's me. But let's take a look at some of the characteristics described in the book. It's another way to show a three-dimensional drawing. Okay, it shows a top view, a front view, and a right side view. So in this drawing, we're actually getting 3 views. We're getting to look at the top, we're getting to look at the front, and we're getting to look at the right side. So again, here's an example of an orthographic drawing. And notice, here's the figure, and this would be, what kind of view is this? This is the one we just talked about. We're looking at it at corner, so that's the isometric view. Now, if I was to be able to look at just this side here, all I would see would be this face right here, and this face right here, because these two lines would come together. So if you're looking right at the front, you'd see this face, and then you'd see this face which sticks above that, and then you see this little one here. So this would be all you would see if you got directly in front of it and got it at an eye level where you couldn't see any of the other surfaces. You just saw that front view and nothing else. Okay? Then if you took that and just got above it and just looked straight down, right on top, you would see this square figure, which you see here. You would see this surface, which is here, and then this surface here. And then if you went to the right side and looked right at the right side, all you would see would be this face right here, and then this face here, okay? So you have the three views, okay? Now, one very important thing, again, it's not in your book, but something that you need to get in your notes and understand. The three views are always organized in this manner, meaning you have the front view here, you have the top view on top of that, and then you have the right side view to the right of that. You never have all three views lined up this way or all three views lined up this way. That doesn't happen. It always looks like this. This is a characteristic. And the reason is when you're making a mechanical drawing, like I was talking about in high school, these dimensions all transfer up and down to the right. So you can draw just one side and then really get all of your other views just by extending these lines. So it's very important that these are lined up. Okay, so the orthographic always looks like that. Okay, so let's take a look at the next one. The next one is called a foundation drawing. And again, we want to look at the key points. We don't want to copy this down. It shows the base of the structure and the height of each part. Okay, and then it just talks about an example. So there's two parts to this that are important. Foundation, it shows the base. How does it show the base? Well, imagine this. If you took a building or some kind of figure and you had some wet sand, like you're on the beach, and you took that and you just pushed that down into the sand a little bit and held it and then picked it up and took it off, you'd have an imprint of the bottom of that figure or that item, whatever it is. That's what that shows the base. That's the base of the figure. It's the imprint that it would make if you were to just lift it up and see what kind of footprint it left in the sand or on the ground. So that's the foundation. It's the bottom of the building. Now, if your building has different heights to different sections, then that foundation would be split into section, and then each section you would put a number that would represent how tall that section is. Okay, so for instance here, again, here's an example. You have this drawing, and notice how this section is only up 1, these two go up 2, and then here's 1, 2, 3, that one goes up 4. So if you were to take this figure and just put it in the ground and then lift it off, you would see this figure right here, and then it has all these different sections. So this is a 1, so that's 1 high. This is 2 high here. This is 4. Then there's one back here that matches this side, so that's 2. And there's one in the back that we can't see. That would be a 1. And then this row here, this is 1. This is 2. This is 1, and then this one is 1. So this would be a foundation drawing where it shows the base, and then it shows the different heights of the figure. So that would be our foundation drawing. The last drawing we're going to look at is net, and this one we'll use a lot later on in chapter 11 when we look at surface area. But a net is a two-dimensional pattern. Okay, so it's a pattern that you fold to form a three-dimensional figure. A net shows all the surfaces in one view. Okay, so again, that summarizes everything for us, so that's all we need to really write down is it's a pattern that folds into a three-dimensional object. Okay, and it shows all of the surfaces in one view. So here is an example. It's in your book. So I had to change video. My board quit working, so you get the rest of the lesson with me sitting at my desk. Actually, Mr. Johnson's desk. I'm in the science room. Anyway, so here we have a picture of a net. Okay, so that's what a net does. It shows all of the surfaces. You see that a box has 6 surfaces, front, back, right, left, top, bottom, 6. You'll notice that in the diagram you have 6 surfaces. One here, one here, one here, one here, one here, one here. So you can see all of the surfaces in one view. Okay? So again, what I really need you to learn from this lesson is the 4 different types of drawings that there are, the different characteristics, and then when you look at them, you'll be able to see them.